I'm actually a librarian at a university, so my perspective on the education system is more from the tertiary sector, which has actually been pretty hard hit by the government in recent times. Like, it's been a bit of a downhill slide for several decades now, but during COVID, we had JobKeeper, and the government accidentally left that in for universities. They were going to help us, and they went back and said, oh no, sorry, we're going to go out of our way to make sure we do not help universities. I think they actually went back twice to make sure they weren't going to help universities. So across the country, thousands of people at universities lost their jobs. And a lot of these people, I didn't, but a lot of people who are teaching at universities are already struggling. They're already under a ridiculous administrative burden. They're often on very short-term contracts, and now a lot of them have just lost their jobs. Obviously, universities are ridiculously dependent on international students. That's one of our largest exports. But for some reason, the government doesn't particularly care about that money coming in or coming back. They're very committed to a culture war where, they're against, it seems to be public education. Actually, the government seems to be against anything that has public in front of it. Public broadcasting, public transport, public education, public health. They just seem to hate the public itself, it seems. So that's my background in education. I would say from our platform, I certainly very strongly agree with what we're talking about in terms of people just being able to live before they can be educated. But I might focus more on our platform is possibly described as bold and ambitious. I would actually describe it as necessary. We basically have to rebuild our entire civilization. And to do that, to get dental into Medicare, to completely rebuild our energy infrastructure, we need dentists, we need engineers, we need teachers, most of all, to teach those people. So we most definitely need to invest in our education system. It's the most fundamental thing. For some reason, which I've never really understood, education does not rank highly. When people are polled what issue is the most important to you, it doesn't rank highly. And we can see tonight, there's not many of us here. I'm sure we all deeply care about education, but we're not overwhelmed with numbers. I don't know why that is. It affects everyone. Like, people who have children or grandchildren. But if you go to the doctor, you want to make sure they've had a good education. If you go to the hospital, you want to make sure there's nurses. We all need that basic social infrastructure that education represents, just for civilization to continue, but to rebuild it all together, we really need to invest heavily in it. That's probably all I'm going to say, as I don't want to donate not being a teacher.